Hello and welcome to Library Drawing Party. Today we're going to be drawing this beautiful rock formation. To get started, let's work on the main rock. So we're going to be doing a watercolor base using our rainbow watercolor set. You're going to want to wet your brush a little bit. You're going to want to start with a sandy brown color. I'm using this color. If you don't have that in your watercolor set, you can mix yellow, orange, and brown together. And we're just going to start to outline the main shape here. So this particular rock formation is modeled after the grotto, which is in Australia. It's a good way for us to have a little taste of a staycation. And we want to see the variation in color. So if you have lighter parts and darker parts, that works out good, because then you'll see the texture of the rock really well. And you want to leave some rough edges too, because the rock has some roughness to it. Now let's do the other side. Now this one is not quite as tall. And then there's some rocks that connect the two, and they're kind of dotted. So I was just blotting my paintbrush. Once you have your main rocks in, you can start to work on the reflection. So there's a bit of green. There's probably some moss connecting the rocks and the water. You want this to be nice and vibrant. And then there's some green coming down from the rocks. We want these to be vertical strokes. They're going down into the water. And it carries out over here. While your brush has some green on it, let's add some green for the ocean. And we'll mix it with some blue. By using the green for the ocean, we're helping to define the ocean color and separate it from our sky color. So for the sky, I'm going to be using a lighter blue. We want our darkest part of the sky to be right about here. So you should start here and then get that main sky strip in, and then get your brush a little bit wetter and use that for the clouds. And it's okay if the color bleeds into the ocean, because we can just put another layer of ocean water on top of that. We want to dab some more color into the clouds so that they're not just one single color, because clouds have a lot of variation in them. Make sure we're capturing that. And then let's do some dabs, some clouds above the sky. And then you can use the side of your brush to get some of that blue color in while still keeping it light for the clouds. And let's go back and add some more green to the ocean. We want the ocean to be nice and dark. We'll mix in some blue. You can mix this in your palette if you'd like, or you can just mix it straight on the page like I've been doing. And let's work with the reflection. So we're going to use that light blue again. And it's going to mirror what's happening up here. So this should be the darkest part, this middle strip right here. And then we can wet our brush and dab for the clouds. You can swirl it too. Let's add some darker brown to the rocks. You don't have to get all the way out to the edge either, because we're going to be doing this cave-like silhouette round. And then on the other side. Then in the center, we can go ahead and re-emphasize those rocks. You can add some more sandy color. If you want section to be lighter, you can just take some water and loosen the pigment. And there's a patch down here. And a branch coming in the center. Then there's a dark patch of rock here, and a dark patch here, and a dark patch up here. So we can start to put in a shading. You can even use some blue. There's a bit of shading here, so I'm going to use some blue there too. And a bit on this side. This will just help give it some more depth when we add our colored pencils to it. Okay, once you have your rock formation established, then we'll take the black and start to create our silhouette. Let's start from the top. So there's a line and then a dip. We want this to look kind of like a cave, or that you're viewing it from inside the arch. You want this to be pretty dark, because it's supposed to be completely in shadow. Once you put in your silhouette, if there's any pieces of rock that need some more color, you can go in and add that color now. Now that the color has had a chance to dry, you want to add some more lines, you can do that. If you want to add some more shading, highlights, this is a great time to work on all of those things. Once you're happy with your watercolor outline, you can let it dry. Overnight is best, an hour or two will work good too. And once it's dry, we'll be ready to add in our finishing details. So see you soon. Hello and welcome back to the library drawing party. Now we're going to add our finishing details to this lovely rock formation. To get started, let's use our sandy color and start adding in some lines. Just adding dashed lines across. You can see all the layers in the rock this way. This helps bring out the texture that we already started to establish with our watercolor base. And then on the other side, let's take our dark brown and create the dark patches of shadow. And there's another big one right here. And then over here. You want the lines to be varied and have lots of different lengths, so you can show all of the interesting nooks and crannies of the rock. There's a lot of shadow along the edge. And we want these lines to be very defined so that we get that rocky edge. We don't want a smooth edge for this. Then we'll add some more of those dashed lines that we were doing with our sandy colored pencil. Helps show the movement of the lines within the rock. Makes it visually interesting for the viewer. And then the mossy patch has some brown sticking out too, so we're going to want to draw that. And it kind of extends along the beach. I'm doing some cross hatching to show some of that without adding too much shadow. And then there is some brown patches along the edge. here. And then there's a rock or a branch in the middle of the water. And then some lines on the other side. Once you're happy with your rock formation, you can take a dark green, add some more texture to the mossy area. The moss blends in with the water, so we don't want too much texture here, but a little bit is good. We want to keep those vertical lines we were working on with our watercolors here, so you're going to add a little bit more vertical lines below the rocks with the green. And since we have green in our ocean, you can add some horizontal lines with the green. You can take a light blue and add more horizontal lines. You can also blend some of this green into the water. You can add in some texture to the water. We're just adding in a little bit of extra lines. We don't want to take away from the watercolor work that we did in our reflection. And add some dark blue lines. We'll add in a bit of light blue to blend in the sky. And again, give it a little bit extra texture. And then finally, let's use our black to help emphasize our silhouette. Now you notice that instead of doing a straight line around the edge, I'm doing jagged lines because I want to once again bring out that rocky edge as if we were looking at the grotto through the cave or an arch, so we want this to stay rocky. So to help emphasize that, we're using the jagged edges to show all of the texture of the rock. And there you have it. That's our rock formation. Thank you for joining us in our library drawing party. We hope to see you again at our next library drawing party. We have them every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and keep being creative.